it used to be when you didn't agree with someone politically, you can agree to disagree and still be actually friends, or just, live next to each other. That no longer seems to be the case for whatever reason, right? We can only go to the extremes now on every topic, and if you disagree with someone, it's like disagreeing with the person, or it's the person's core belief is now equal as hating the other person. And if not, then it will kind of be degraded into that level shortly by the political class. And that seems to be happening more and more often, right? And it's just probably a result of social media, because in social media, it is the amount of clicks, the attention span that you can grab, right? And there's this funnel effect where you constantly need to keep reaffirming someone's bias in order to keep them engaged, because more clicks, more view time equals more money. So whatever stupidity they believe in, you need to keep them in the loop, because the more you keep them in the loop, then that makes money for the social media. And it has really trickled into real life, right? Where the same opinions that used to be okay on somewhere like an anonymous forum is becoming more and more okay in real life. And it's having real consequences, to the point where a sitting president can call other people garbage people, right? And then the media covers that up. Now, you can say, well, on both ends is the same or similar, but I have to hold presidents to a different standard than, comedians, even if they're speaking to a large audience. So it is somewhat been normalized for comedians or, stand-up comedians to say awkward stuff, because they're not the media, they're not representatives. It's a world of difference between someone who's just like tells jokes for a living, tells something. It's almost as if that's a pressure valve for releasing, built up pressure, right? Because this archetype of the comedian, of the jester, is somewhat needed. Now, you may say that, it's inappropriate, and I agree with that. However, there's a big difference when your representative tells you something, how he thinks about people, and when a jokester kind of makes inappropriate jokes. So there's a world of difference, and it's not tit for tat. And what we're seeing is that as we're getting close and close to the election, it's becoming more and more wild, to the point where, like a cornered dog, they're pulling out everything and anything in order to make some waves, and whatever they're doing is not good, because first and foremost, we have to live in a country together, no matter what our political beliefs are, right? And some political beliefs are extreme, right? But beliefs are beliefs, and they're not actions. So you cannot, and people have to have wrong beliefs, or have to have different beliefs in order to grow. Because if you think about back, when you were like 10 years younger, you may have had different political beliefs. You may have had different social beliefs, and those are okay to have. There's a reason why there's actions and there's thought, and you have to have freedom of thought, but you don't necessarily have to have a freedom of action for every crazy thing that you may have. And that's kind of sad to see. And wherever America goes, so does the world. And then it just, the waves hit the shores of other countries, and you see the same thing everywhere else. And it while we could say we live in a more civilized society in the United States, those things don't play well in other countries that have animosity for each other, or even within the same country, different groups of people. And if they say that they see that this is happening in the US, they just kind of hang on to that train or train of thought and repeat the same things in other states, other countries, and the result is much more horrendous. So it's a bit sad to see that these things are happening, but we have to think about that. Whether we vote for them or we don't have the choice to vote for other people, the thing is that we are not them. You are not your party leader. You are not your president. You are not your representative. And if they are going off the rails, then we have to reach out to people who are of other beliefs and say, hey, I don't agree with this representative, right? I don't agree with this. And I think reaching out personally to other people is a way how we can heal this country. And with that, probably the whole world. If you reach out and you say, hey, I think this was inappropriate, and I'm going to make sure that my side knows this, that I don't agree with it. With that said, I think you do have to vote. Although they say if voting would make any difference, it would be illegal. And I do believe to some degree it's all show. It's all political show to keep you entertained, to keep you in the circus. Because in the end, the uniparty almost never changes, or it tries to keep its course. But to some regards, if we really put down our foot, we can stop wars at least. We can stop totally idiotic changes in government. We can influence them not to make really big, stupid mistakes that they cannot walk back from. Because if you think about it, a war never helps the poor man, you know. It never helps the poor man. It always just funds bigger governments and funds the people who have the most influence in government, which are the people with money. So make sure you vote for peace, whatever that means for you. And see you next time.